here, wedge there. Wedge, wedge, wedge. Wedged me here, wedged me there. Oh, I touched the wall, guys. I'm dead. And then I would die. Oh my god, where am I? Oh, I'm where... Oh my god, you really took me to a bad place. I'm glad I caught it. There's a really direct line that I cut between here and here. See it? But there's all these things that happen. Like you caught me here. You caught me here. But I aimed directly at that. I looked at it and aimed at it. But you, for some reason, took me all over the fucking world. I don't know why. But you did. And I'm going to do it again. I'm going to aim. Watch. I'm aiming at it right now. I'm going to let go. And you're going to take me on a safari. Watch. It's insane. I don't understand it. It's like when you're alt tabbed. Yeah, they just go crazy. They'll go all over the place. It's I don't know. Something about the code. And sometimes it works, and you just get there perfectly, and you're at the camp. You know, probably about 3/10 of the time. The other 7/10 of the time, it takes you on a safari. You get eaten by an ant. Don't know why, but it does. There we go. Goddamn time sink fucking walking sim. You know what I think about when I think about quality of life was how long it took my my best friend to load his Bethesda games on the Xbox 360. 45 minutes sometimes. And I think about that and I'm like, yeah, that's the treatment. That's the treatment I've been receiving all my life. Corrupted saves, and just recently I watched a thing about how they changed Bethesda changed the Creation Club. And it's kind of a scandal. People are freaking out about this. Have you guys heard this? Have you heard about this? Have you heard about this? It's current. So we're gonna go look at this. This will be funny. Oh wait, now was this right? Yeah, this was right, and I fucked it up. Oops. So there we go. And then yeah, we'll go watch a video now. Watch a video now. So yeah, Bethesda Creation Club stuff. No, wait, no, that's not it. I'm looking for from this week, sorted by view count. Epoxy, the greedy and egotistical decline of Bethesda Game Studios. All of Bethesda Game Studios' mistakes. Bethesda really tried to sell this for money in 2006. Bethesda and modders, but I'm looking for the Bethesda Creation Club stuff. Let's look at this. Thank you, Epoxy, for the excellent content for my stream. I'd like to sub to your channel.
Fallout is almost unbelievable. As for those of you unaware, there is an overwhelming amount of new content coming for all of us Fallout fans in 2024 and beyond. And it's coming in many forms, and not just from Bethesda Game Studios. Everything from Fallout 4's next-gen update, something New Vegas related, the TV show, a massive expansion, and game-sized mods. So let's begin with Fallout 4 Next Gen, as that is likely the first notable Fallout thing coming this year. As well, it was delayed out of 2023. Bethesda did confirm that it's still coming in 2024. They just needed a bit more time for it. And with the update being originally planned for release in
they needed a bit more time for it. I mean, now they've got 2 weeks left.
23, and their announcement being
okay. So in the next 2 weeks, Fallout 4 remaster hits, huh? That's good. I'm gonna start a game over, and I won't do mods. I'll just do survival mode. It'll suck, but I'll do it. No. Wait. No, I'll just play the game I already started. I think. No, I'll start over a new remaster, but with mods. I cannot farm water. It is so annoying. I need you to let me farm water. It didn't used to be like this. I think they changed it so you could get reeds and stuff better. Bull rush. How much water do I have now? 52:39.
You've been examined.
I've been examined. Oh. Yep. Utsutsu. Oh, he's killing beetles. Damn it. Well, he went that way. I'll go this way. Maybe he's killing that one. He killed them all. Alright, well, if he's gonna kill them, I'll just kill spiders. That's fine. I'll kill spiders and beetles. That's still good XP. I don't want to go anywhere. I was hoping to get more antique and pauldrons. I'm getting higher. I'm 48, which is so good. Like, dude, soloing BST takes so long. It is like the longest grind I've ever done, and I'm not even like doing the grind. Wait, somebody's over there doing a corrupted portal. I will go help them in my bad armor with my guns. Oh, I'm full. Ooh. Loamy Lodestone. Good money, this. 6 earth essences, that's like 300 gold or something.
Warp drive active. Docking request accepted.
You are glitched or something, man. Something. So I'm gonna relog you, I guess. So annoying. Fucking so annoying. Nice. It's 40 million. Not bad. Making some money today. 50 million. Yeah. Making some money today. Making some money today. Making some money today. Making some money today. Yeah. 50 million. Yeah. It's good money for me. I don't care about what anybody else thinks about it. It's good money for me. I view it as money. Money. Money, money, money. I don't really like money, but I like that money because it buys me things that I need, like frivolous things that I don't care about. Okay, now 60 experience points. Yeah, my XP buff. Yeah. Just had to kill all my ants, huh? Spiders are squishy.
All the way back at the end of 2022, and now this delay, accompanied with them saying they, in quotes, look forward to an exciting return to the Commonwealth in 2024, my expectations for it are kind of growing. As I was honestly expecting just a 4K 60 patch for consoles, some bug fixes, and paid mods. But that doesn't sound like it's going to be the case, as even if this delay was primarily to align it with the Follow TV show, which we'll also be discussing in this video, alongside the release date this update could align with, I don't think it would make much sense to delay it if that's all that it was. As a simple FPS boost on consoles, minor bug fixes, and paid mods, I don't think would really excite many people or make a big difference for newcomers, so I just don't expect this to be as small as I originally thought. Well, I do think some minor graphical improvements across the board are possible now. Bug fixes are certainly going to be a thing, as they even previously confirmed, but whether it'll be a long list and a notable part of the update is yet to be seen. The recent Skyrim update points toward ultra-wide and Steam Deck supports. We could see something similar to that of the anniversary upgrade, allowing you to buy all the old creation content in a bundle. And beyond that, we know the new creation system introduced to Skyrim is also coming, as BGS has since updated the Fallout 4 Creation Club page to Fallout 4 Creations. And I know that's something you're all very excited for. And something to keep in mind is that Fallout 4 hasn't received an update for over 4 years. That includes no creation content. So I truly think this update will be more than a small patch with paid mods. But to be clear, I'm not saying it's going to be a remaster by any means, but I do think it will be a noteworthy update. Of course, since the game is getting updated, that will mean Fallout 4 script extender, address library, and mods that require them will be broken once the update releases, but there are ways to avoid this, as you can either block updates for it on Steam using one of my recent videos, or you can snag Fallout 4 Game of the Year Edition on GOG, which is a non-DRM copy of the game with no forced auto updates and built-in rollback support. And if you use my partner link at the top of the description, you'll also be supporting the channel in the process. Now, something a little spicy that may or may not be related to built-in rollback support. This is a not once the update releases, but there are ways to avoid this, as you can either block updates for it on Steam using one of my recent videos, or you can snag Fallout 4 Game of the Year Edition on GOG, which is a non-DRM copy of the game with no forced auto updates and built-in rollback support. And if you use my partner link at the top of the description, you'll also be supporting the channel in the process. Now, something a little spicy that may or may not be related to the next-gen update, which we have discussed a good amount in the past, so I'll try not to go too overboard here this time, is that we are getting some form of New Vegas content. As last year, BGS either intentionally or unintentionally added a new depot build named New Vegas 2 to Fallout 4's Steam listing. Now, since this was also accompanied by another new build named Beta 2, it's safe to assume that 2 was just a build ID and not implying a New Vegas sequel or some form of New Vegas sequel content. As for what this content is, as we've discussed in the past, it's most realistically New Vegas themed creation content. Not exactly the most exciting thing in the world, but I'd say that still has some potential to be good, but we'll have to wait and see. That being said, BGS has never had an entire build for a specific set of creation content, which is the only thing that makes me think this could be something else other than creation content. But whether it's my dream of a New Vegas remake, I kind of doubt it. We'll talk a little bit about why that might be a possibility in the distant future, whether that's related to this New Vegas depot build or not. So what I'm trying to tell you is that really everything other than the fact that this New Vegas build was added to the official Fallout 4 Steam listing and then quickly removed by Bethesda is nothing but speculation, so it's best if we temper expectations and assume this is creation content. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the next-gen update may very well have been delayed to align with the upcoming Fallout TV show. Something a number of you have been completely unaware is a thing and get surprised every single time I bring it up. But it's a new series that is indeed coming, and it's
God, the frame rate sucks sometimes. On the older game, which makes no sense. Maybe I should try Andrew Sampson again, but it kind of screws up the desktop. It does. It makes like alt tabbing annoying and all that. I don't know. Oh. Okay. There's some kind of anti-bot measure where it wouldn't let me farm fresh water anymore. I had to relog, which is okay, but it's like I wondered what it was. It was an anti-bot measure, I think. I came up against it. I'm fairly sure I did. Either that or it was a bug. Might be more like a bug.
Okay, two of those. Two of those. Two of those. Give me some red wine, please. Invocations and skills besides. You know, I should... The moment I say, like, hey, I'm feeling it on my voice, I probably shouldn't then immediately do different voices. Because it is a bit of a strain. Sometimes flaws are what makes a game stand out. Excellent. Yes, yes, I would. Your voice also, by the way, fantastic. Love it.
The future of Fallout is...
Thank you for the excellent concept for my stream. I'd like to sub to your channel, 7 Ember VODs.
I love this game.
The future of Fallout is...
Wavy web surf is always good.
In the world of viral videos and public freakouts, to me personally, air rage incidents are the most compelling.
There's a bomb on this guy's plane! If she takes me up, I'll blow the plane up!
Yeah, it seems like every week the internet is blessed with a TikTok or YouTube clip showcasing a passenger completely melting down mid-flight. What you may not realize is behind these 10 to 15 second clips are entire stories, rabbit holes to explore, and aftermaths to examine. The first air rage incident that we'll be looking at today is one that most of you watching are likely familiar with, at least on a surface level. During the COVID-19 pandemic, many air rage incidents occurred, but none were as controversial and virally well known as the JetBlue Burger King incident. This Burger King crown-wearing man has garnered quite the infamous reputation for himself.
Call the police right now. I know you saw it. She need me in the stomach. Excuse me, I'm part West African. I can say
I'm part West African.
bye.
West African.
Get the bitch off the plane.
Sir, please you need to stop. There are children. Please stop. Stop. Hey, that's not necessary.
Burger
Most of you
King
may
freak
remember
out.
the racial tirade that he delivered on a JetBlue flight.
I'm from West
back in
Africa.
2020. Over the years, the JetBlue Burger King guy has become somewhat of an enigmatic meme figure, with many curious as to what led up to his tirade and what became of the man after the fact. What you might be surprised to find is that there's actually quite a bit of lore surrounding this incident and the man responsible for it,
Oh, no.
Ryan Brewer. Ryan Brewer, originally from California,
Oh,
is
no.
a man with something of a mysterious backstory. What's known about Brewer prior to the racist BK incident comes from his online postings and anecdotal statements from alleged family members. It's said that Ryan is a man who struggles with mental health and has experienced much instability in his adult life. To further paint a picture of Mr. Brewer, one can look at old videos from a now defunct YouTube channel created by the guy. Videos uploaded to Ryan's channel are bizarre to say the least, and certainly jive with the notion that this man isn't the most put together guy.
I was contemplating right now, I'm really fucking grumpy, and like the whole world is shit, and like, you know what the fucking reason is that you won't talk to me, Samantha? Because you're too fucking shallow.
As you can see, well, it talks anyway. Samantha, I'm gonna joke. Hey, can you feel that?
Watching these videos, you sort of get the impression of a guy that has something of a chaotic and lonely life. Interestingly, it would be loneliness that would inadvertently create the racist Burger King incident on a JetBlue flight. According to a report by a Jamaican news publication called The Den, the reason for Ryan Brewer even boarding a plane in the first place was so that he could meet up with a woman in Jamaica that he had met online using Facebook. According to reports, Ryan would invest a small fortune in getting a plane ticket to Jamaica and traveled there after being told by the woman they would get married. According to The Den and sources at the airport, this woman also requested money from Brewer so that she could begin preparations for a wedding. So Ryan, apparently desperate for companionship, allegedly gives this woman $1,000, which proved to be a mistake. Yeah, as you might guess, the woman that he had talked to on Facebook, well, they took the money and never gave it back, and he had essentially been scammed in some sort of, honeypot scheme. There was no wedding. Ryan had been duped. After getting fleeced out of $1,000, Ryan found himself broke and essentially stuck in Jamaica. Stranded, Ryan slept on beaches for a couple of days and scrounged up whatever money he could to buy food from a nearby Burger King, which would be, of course, how
no! That's why he ended up there like that?
he got his hands
And he went
on
crazy
the
on
now
a plane?
infamous BK crown worn
Because he
during
wanted to go to jail. He was probably homeless, and he wanted to go to jail, so Burger King freaked out on his way home.
the incident that we'll discuss shortly. After being stranded, heartbroken, and homeless for a few days in Jamaica, Ryan Brewer would eventually find his way to the United States Embassy, and there, government officials, feeling as if the man needed assistance, would in charitable fashion get him a plane ticket back to the United States. He was at his wit's end by this point, and compounded with his pre-existing mental health struggles, he was a powder keg on the verge of blowing. And that brings us
That's our
to
tax
JetBlue
money.
Flight 1760, or the debut.
Leave
of
him in
racist Burger
Jamaica.
King. On October 20th of 2020, Ryan Brewer boarded JetBlue Flight 1760, service from Kingston, Jamaica to New York City.
No,
And
Jamaica's
boarded
the last
plane
place this
wearing
guy
the
should
now
be.
infamous Burger King crown
Why did you go to
and
Jamaica, you
homeless in
racist?
Jamaica. Ryan would begin
Oh
to
my
cause
God.
problems literally moments after boarding the plane. During the process of seating, Ryan would grow antagonistic.
You always hear about like the racists in Harlem or whatever, or not hear about it. It's like you always hear about like weird crazy dudes like in Jamaica, and it's like, motherfucker, why are you in Jamaica? You're screaming the N-word on a plane home from Jamaica. Why did you go to Jamaica? You're so stupid. You're so stupid. If you don't like black people, don't go to Jamaica.
Towards a fellow passenger. The
Fucking
exact
humans
reason for
are
this
so
altercation
stupid.
starting is disputed, but reports say it had to do with the woman he was assigned to sit next to. A woman that apparently bore an uncanny resemblance to the Jamaican woman that allegedly scammed him days prior. The appearance of this woman seemingly triggered the man and sent the mentally unstable brewer into a spiral of anger. This fit of rage involved Ryan spewing racist and vitriolic comments at the innocent woman that was sitting next to him. It's also interesting to note that during this altercation,
White
Ryan
men
Brewer
behaving
claims that
badly.
he has West African ancestry, so he says that, I guess, to sort of preface the fact that he's about to drop a bunch of N-bombs later in this situation.
Excuse me, I'm part West African.
I'm part West African. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah.
Kick that bitch off the plane!
Sir, please you need to stop. There are children. Please stop. Stop. Hey, that's not necessary.
Take your stuff and get out of my seat, please.
Let's just say the verdict on that West African claim is still out. A scuffle between the two would be had off camera, with Ryan later alleging
White
that
people
she
be going
beat him in the chest during
crazy,
Call
this
the fucking police right now. I know you saw it.
I get mad like this, but I don't get mad like this.
Thank you.
You need to.
This is my seat.
Can you stand up?
Where is 25A? Where is 25A? Why did she just knee me in the stomach?
Because you deserve it.
Yes, she did.
Because you deserve
Did you get that on camera?
You deserve it.
Now, Ryan would continue to become more enraged on this JetBlue flight to the point where he started screaming the N-word at the top of his lungs, and everyone at this point had their phones out recording.
Yeah, check your done.
You know where I live?
No, we're gonna skip this part of it.
Totally disorderly.
Who's next, mother? No, I'm not. You're an asshole, and we understand. Who's next? You're done. You lost your bet. Who's next? You lost.
You lost.
Jamaican police would eventually be notified, and Ryan Brewer would soon after be detained by police and escorted off of the plane. And for the time being, he would be stranded in Jamaica again. The
Oh
footage
my
of this bizarre
God.
incident
And then the
would
embassy is like, nah, man, we already bought you fucking tickets. I got a pity ticket out of the embassy. You're talking to some dude in jail or afterwards. You're like, I got a pity ticket from the fucking American embassy. But then they and then the second time around they were like, no go. You can just get stuck here. Try to fend in fucking Jamaica. We're not buying you another ticket. You'll scream at the poor black people on the plane again. Oh my God. People think I'm crazy. I'm not crazy like this. This is crazy. He also sealed his own door, basically. He probably got home eventually. They're like, well, he's American. He probably should go rot in America, frankly. So it's sad how people like this... So many people, so many good people want citizenship here, but then we get this. Talk about white man's guilt. I'm talking about white man's remorse. I have some remorse. I have some remorse about this white man. Oh God. What a world. I mean, yeah, it's funny. It's good. I knew it would be.
Published to social media by those on the flight. And due to Ryan's appearance,
Flame
him
freakouts.
toting the Burger King hat and what he had to say on this flight, he sort of got the colloquial name of Racist Burger King. Many would sound off on social media, leaving comments chastising the man for his unacceptable racist comments. But they should have done is gone ahead and
This
taken
guy's crazy like the racist Burger King. The racist Burger King. I mean, that's what he is. That's what he is. It's the racist Burger King. How now, Hamburglar?
off and then had a tragic accident at 30,000 feet where the door mysteriously popped open and he fell out of it. Imagine everybody just saying fuck it and just throw bro off that motherfucker.
Oh my god. We're getting rid of him, guys.
Say the N-word? That's some ballsy privilege with the Burger King crown on. These folks are exhausting. JetBlue would probably.
Why are you
respond
wearing
to
a
the
Burger
incident,
King
issuing their own
crown?
Comments to social media. We have zero tolerance for racism or harassment, and after reviewing this customer's abhorrent racist behavior, we have determined he is no longer welcome to fly JetBlue.
Sir, I
As
think
for
you should
Ryan,
leave.
What few actually realize is that there was a second incident involving Ryan Brewer
Oh,
on an airplane that occurred
no.
shortly
Oh,
after he
no.
was banned from JetBlue. As Ryan.
Oh no, he's like, I'm getting banned from all the airlines. I'm bored and I'm crazy and they don't treat me like a real human being. So, gonna go fuck with airlines because I'm sure they'll treat me well. All the airlines are terrified of getting sued, so they probably just incarcerate you. You know, I don't know. They probably don't like sue you. They're scared of getting sued. Maybe they do. I don't know. Damn it. Keeps taking all my fucking ants. My XP buff war. Merg. Yeah, use it. Yeah, use that. Yeah, oops. Yeah. I should maybe get a new axe now. But I mean, the axes aren't that much better. Okay, so
Ryan would attempt to return back to the United States on an American Airlines flight and get
how did he get a ticket?
Into another provocational incident.
Nobody gave this man any money. How did he get a ticket?
This incident was nowhere near as egregious as the
He probably
JetBlue
worked. He
one,
probably had to
but
work for like
started
3 or 4 days in
showcasing
Jamaica.
man
The white
disturbing
Howley.
woman sitting in front of him, and apparently this altercation
Aw.
resulted in him being banned from American as well and sent back to Jamaica for a second time.
Was I talking to him? You're not supposed to use that word in general. Don't say it then. You don't say it, the fuck? I'm gonna say whatever I want. It's called freedom of speech.
Not in this country. Not in this.
Well, in Jamaica, it's called freedom of expression. Excuse me where you swing braids, please. Okay. You swing your braids all over. It's got COVID all over it. Don't swing your braids on me. Please don't swing your COVID all over me.
Not even moving.
You're COVID.
On me, okay?
You're COVID.
Right here.
Don't swing your COVID on me.
But get your COVID on me. It's like a child.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Jesus
The
Christ.
fact that Ryan is still wearing the Burger King crown in the second video has led many to speculate that
it's
he
all
became aware of
like
his
a bit.
status as an infamous viral meme and was essentially sort of trying to play into it. But
What do you mean
it's
became
impossible
aware?
to confirm. What's actually kind of crazy about Ryan
cops
Brewer
told
is that
him.
I cannot find any concrete proof that he ever actually made it back to the United States. Now, I can't really see a scenario where Ryan is still in Jamaica.
I can.
Hell, if the trend continues
I can.
with him being banned from airlines back to back, I mean, it is theoretically possible that he's just like living on a beach somewhere. While Ryan's whereabouts these days remain a mystery, what's clear is that the racist tirade he delivered will live on in infamy as people continue to post
The
memes
racist
about
Burger
this
King.
years later. What all began as a
The
man
racist
allegedly
Burger
getting
King.
scammed in Jamaica, that was the story of the JetBlue
The
Burger
racist
King.
Burger
Before our
King.
next story, a brief message from today's sponsor. Today's video is sponsored by Keeps, and to begin the ad, let's look at my hair
Fucking
from some old
racist
videos
Burger
back
King.
in 2020. Yeah, as you can see, your boy was losing hair and losing it fast. I didn't want to go bald, so I decided to do something about my hair loss and got started with Keeps, and the results have been pretty insane. Here's me at 6 months after starting Keeps, a year after starting, 2 years after starting, nearly 3 years after starting, and then there's me right now.
It's the
And
exact
if
same
I'm
thing.
being honest with you guys, if I never got
All of
started
it was
on
the same.
Keeps, I'm pretty sure the situation up here would be a bit more dire. Keeps offers generic
Why do you draw
versions of
attention
the
to this?
FDA-approved hair loss products at a can't-beat price, and best of all, you skip the trip to the doctor's office and pharmacy. Keeps will set you up with a prescriber online and
Oh,
ship
man,
your
this kinda
prescription
makes
right
you
to
a
your front
clown, in
door,
my
And
opinion.
in 4 to 6 months, you should start seeing results. Look, I stand by Keeps. I've been using this
I
stuff for
stand by
most of my
Keeps.
YouTube career at this point. If I never started it, I'm afraid I would probably be half bald, but yeah. If you're a guy
No,
out there
you're a
that's
snake
having
oil
some anxiety
salesman.
about hair loss, there's no better time than now to start Keeps. Hair loss stops with Keeps. You can go to keeps.com/wavy to take advantage of their special
seem to
offer,
really like
or
that
click
product.
the link in the description. Easily the most disgusting air rage incident on this list involves a man airdropping an entire plane a photo of his cock and balls. The story all begins on June of 2022
Oh my
on a Southwest
God.
Airlines flight from Detroit to Denver. A woman named
Detroit to
Mackenzie would receive
Denver.
an airdrop request from an unknown contact on the flight. Not thinking much of this request, she accepted it and was horrified to find that somebody on this plane had sent them a photo of their genitalia.
What?
Disturbed, violated, and feeling sexually harassed, Mackenzie did her best to keep her cool in the moment. She wanted to expose this sick freak that sent the material, so she kept cool and did some detective work, kind of looking around to see if she could find somebody that fit the bill of somebody that, you know, would send a dick pic to random people on a plane. And that's when her gaze fixed on a passenger sitting directly across the aisle from her.
Oh,
A bald,
no!
overweight, middle-aged man who was suspiciously operating an iPad. The man looking up from the tablet every now and then at other plane riders. Almost as if he was like checking the reactions of people, if you know what I'm saying. Feeling as if this man
was
the
trying to
dick
do
pic
the
perpetrator,
Mile
she
High Club.
confronted him, asking if he was the one
Mile High
responsible
Club?
for sending the penis airdrop. And bafflingly enough, the man, who identified himself as Larry, would candidly admit to sending the photo to her. And he would further explain that he sent it to several other people on this plane as a funny joke.
Meet Larry, who just airdropped a whole flight photos of his pee-pee. Thankfully, I accepted it, saw who was sending it, and immediately started speaking up.
Mackenzie
tuned
was
for the
sickened
police
and
escort.
infuriated by this response. She started chastising and putting Larry on blast in front of everyone, exposing him for what he did. Flight attendants took note of the unfolding confrontation, and around this time, Mackenzie would begin recording video of it with her phone. This video showcases just how disgusted the woman was in the moment.
I'm disgusted.
Harassment, it is insanely disgusting. It is assault.
That's the dude.
And you can
My
also kind of
apologies,
gauge
no.
the passengers and flight attendants' reactions to this creep as well. Initially feeling as if sending
Yeah.
these unappreciated
That sounds like
dick
humanity, I
pics was
know.
no big deal, Larry would
No
eventually
big deal,
issue a
MBD.
half-hearted apology after a lot of pushback from those on
My
board.
God.
But I say half-hearted because Mackenzie would later report that after initiating this apology, the man would go right back onto his tablet, and Mackenzie claims he was like looking and pulling up pictures of his
Oh my
dick. You know,
God.
just ingratiating himself in this content still.
You look at Larry's iPad, it's been like 2 minutes, and he's looking at the pictures. Again, on his iPad, there's a child, like 7-ish maybe, right behind him, and
Yeah.
a teenager right behind him, and he knows that.
She certainly felt like the guy had no remorse and even speculated that it was a kink for him and he was getting off on the attention. As a result of the airdrops,
Yeah, I think it
Larry,
is.
who was later identified as Texas man Lawrence Martin, was
What?
arrested upon landing and taken into
For
police
sexual
custody. Mackenzie would
molestation
later publish
charges.
her video
Are you
recorded on the
a
platform
sex
TikTok
charge
and
guy
other
now?
videos
Did
discussing
you catch
the
a
story.
sex charge?
Mackenzie claimed that some of the flight attendants
Oh my
were
God.
negatively impacted by Larry's photos and that some minors were potentially even exposed to it. As according to her, there were literally children sitting behind Larry on the flight. Mackenzie's TikToks would go viral. Her videos received
Wow,
close to
260
2 million views
salt.
in a matter of days. Disgusted commenters would chime in. Literally, flashing in public but with technology. How is that for fun? I have never understood humans that send photos without consent. I hope he is in trouble for a long time.
I hope he's
Thank
in
you
trouble
turning
for a
him in.
long
Who
time.
knows what else he would have done or has done. I would have jumped off the plane mid-flight. He looked so casual and relaxed. In addition to being arrested, Larry now found himself under investigation.
321
by various internet
strong
sleuths, who
alkalest.
promptly dug up social media associated.
343, not
with
bad.
the
99, not
50
bad.
Shades of Way says this disgusting piece of shit, Lawrence Martin, said he was having a little fun when asked why he sent dick pics to everyone on the plane. It's no wonder he's divorced. They arrested his dirty ass after the flight. He deserves to be on a sex offender registry.
He does.
The user attaches some not so flattering images of the man. In the wake of Mackenzie's viral video showcasing the incident, Southwest Airlines put out this statement. We can confirm that this unfortunate incident occurred on a recent flight from Detroit to Denver. Our flight attendants immediately addressed the situation, and the crew requested local law enforcement officers to meet the flight upon arrival, which they did and subsequently apprehended the individual responsible. Southwest Airlines maintains zero tolerance for unacceptable behavior, and we offer our sincere apologies to the other customers on board. While I'm unable to ascertain the specifics regarding Larry's charges, I would imagine a public indecency, and considering that there were children on this flight, I wouldn't be surprised if he got hit with something like sending indecent material to the underage. Whatever the case, it's fortunate that this sick individual got put on blast publicly, and hopefully other airlines take notice of what he's capable of. Easily the most notorious air rage incident in recent memory, it's time to talk about the "that MFer is not real" lady. If you've spent any amount of time on the internet in the last year, you are likely very familiar with this bizarre video.
And there's a reason why I'm getting the fuck off, and everyone can either believe it or they cannot believe it. I don't give two
That girl's
fucks,
having a psychotic
but I am
episode.
telling you right now, that motherfucker back there is not real.
Not real.
You can sit on this plane and you can fucking die with him or not.
This is like she watched They Live, and she's eating it into her heart and soul, and it's got a worm in her brain now. She believes that life is They Live, and this is why I always thought I love They Live, but I think it might have had a submersive effect on people, and now she thinks that there's aliens everywhere. And I'm sorry, but that is a psychotic episode with extra steps.
I'm not going to.
While most know the now infamous line uttered by this woman, few are actually
not going
aware
to.
of the entire timeline of events.
No, we don't know the
rabbit
background,
hole
no.
surrounding this incident.
Yep.
So what caused the "that motherfucker is not real" incident,
That
and who
motherfucker's
is
not
the
real.
woman behind it? What led up to all of this? And what happened to her? And who exactly is the
don't
motherfucker
know.
that this enigmatic woman is telling that they're not real? This story all begins on July 2nd of 2023 as American Airlines Flight 1009 is preparing to take off from Texas en route to Florida. As the plane was beginning the takeoff process and leaving the terminal, passengers began to notice a peculiar woman near the back of the plane experiencing a sort
Oh
of
no.
episode of sorts. A bit of a perplexing confrontation was breaking out. A frantic and paranoia-stricken
Yay.
looking woman began raising her voice towards a male passenger near her seat who was apparently minding his own business. The woman was going on about how she felt unsafe and that everyone else on this flight was unsafe as well, and something bad was about to happen. Despite nothing out of the ordinary taking place, the spectacle continues to escalate, and the woman seems to become even more frightened as the plane starts taxiing forward.
I'm getting the fuck off. I'm getting the fuck off because no, I'm getting the fuck off. Because there is a stupid fucking dude on here. No.
So the moment the plane starts moving, this woman just kind of goes batshit. The woman starts screaming for the plane to be stopped and demands to be let off immediately. When another passenger attempts to calm her down, she reportedly shoved this individual. And yeah, at this point, several passengers had pulled out their phones and they were filming this lady lose. Flight attendants unsuccessfully tried to calm her down as she speaks in a cryptic fashion, issuing vague remarks about the flight being unsafe.
I need to get the fuck off this plane.
Which in turn made everyone else on the flight feel kind of worried because, you know, they start asking themselves like, hey, wait a second. Is this woman crazy or is she actually on to something? Like, is there something that we need to know about here? According to a report from the legendary comedian Carrot Top, who just so happened to have been on this plane.
Carrot Top was on the plane with her. Carrot Top was on the plane with her. Why? Why was Carrot Top on the plane with her?
First class. Yes, you can't make this shit up.
Oh
This
my
woman
God,
caused
Carrot
the
Top
plane,
was on
grabbed
the
taxi
plane.
back to the terminal.
It's all a
and she was
joke.
then
It's all
removed.
some weird. It's all God's
When I
joke.
sent, when someone during the 8-hour late.
It's all God's joke. If Carrot Top's involved, it's God's joke. God's playing a joke here. You motherfucker is not real, right? It's like God playing a joke on us. We always say that God isn't real, right? So God plays a joke on us, and it's that motherfucker is not real. And what it actually sounds like.
Over because of this woman. We were all sitting in Dallas, and one of the people on the plane had videotaped
Oh God,
it, so they
why is he involved? Why? Oh God, any serialness is immediately dead. It's like full blown dead. It's like can't take it seriously anymore.
came over and said, I said, what? You have the tape? Give me. Oh my God, I want to like post it and just say, you know. But before it became this thing, it wasn't huge yet. It was just this little thing, and I said, you know, I was gonna make the fireworks, but I'm not gonna now because of some nut job lost her mind, so I'm gonna miss the fireworks. And then it became beyond national news. But when I sent it to my friend, the video, first thing he says is, "You're a coach." I'm like, "No, I'm not a coach." No.
And it would be when the woman was walking off the plane to the terminal that the now infamous line regarding MFers not being real was delivered. She points to a man at the back of the plane, says that motherfucker is not real, and that everybody on board was in serious
not real.
danger.
But I am telling you right now, that motherfucker back there.
That motherfucker is not real.
A recording showcasing the incident briefly pans to the direction of the alleged not real MFer, and when the camera turns, all one sees is a collection of seemingly normal passengers. After issuing her ominous warning, the American Airlines Flight 1009 Doomsayer would finally deplane. There would be a moment of peace. Because of the uneasiness caused by this woman's tirade, the entire flight was deplaned as well, as the plane had to be swept for any potential abnormalities or threats. Nothing was found, and the flight was later deemed safe for takeoff. Meanwhile, the crazy plane lady was inside the airport being interviewed by security. And even while off the plane, the lady still expressed concern
look at that, lots
the
of
flight
seasoning
wasn't
blend.
safe, and she was worried that people were going to die. She insisted that the MFer
that was a
wasn't
lot of
real,
cooking
had
skill,
sinister plans in store for all on board. Video recorded inside of the airport terminal showcases the plane lady saying that the airport should not let the flight leave because it's going to blow up.
I want to know what happens to this flight right here.
You fucking idiots.
Great. I don't ever want to fly with you ever again.
Let that flight leave. Do not let that flight leave.
Do not let that flight leave.
Do not let that flight leave.
How is she not under arrest for wasting so many people's time and so much money? How is she not under a federal FCC regulation violation? How is she not in cuffs? You'll put me in cuffs for fucking shoplifting, but you won't put her in cuffs for holding up tens of thousands of dollars worth of tickets and hours and people's time and all this other shit and having a psychotic episode and terrorizing 300 people. And it's just weird. It's weird. It's weird. I was mistreated by the system. I watch people walk for certain things, and I'm like, yeah.
Do not let that flight leave.
I can't believe you just let her walk out into the fucking terminal. You should have, like, honestly, how is she not on one of those things they ride around the airport with, all the way out to the fucking parking lot, and they drop her in the parking lot, like at her fucking car or at like the person picking her up or whatever. How is she walking through the airport having a psychotic episode right now? Now I don't like the airline either. I don't like their handling of it. They're like letting her have a psychotic episode and they think it's funny or something. I don't know what it is. Now they're not protecting her.
That flight's not going to make it to Orlando.
Why?
I'm going to. Oh yeah, until y'all see that flight blow up.
Okay. This statement in particular made security and airport staff
They were like, all right, we ground the plane. We're taking everybody to a different plane and we're suing this woman. Yep, sue her. They got her ID and everything. They're like, who are you? I bet they probably sued her.
Uneasy, and as a result of this woman's actions,
the
flight to Orlando was delayed for a total of 3 hours.
Well, yeah,
Needless
I mean,
to
3
say,
hours
this
isn't
woman
much.
was not allowed back on, though. Body cam
No.
footage shows additional bits of the aftermath of the plane lady incident. Officers would go on to interview the man who was initially shoved on the plane by the plane lady.
No, it's okay. Yeah, she just pushing me like you are the part of the. I don't know who's talking to in the phone. Okay. So I was just sitting right here, and she just got me pushing me, and then she just. Did she say anything before that to you? No.
And the plane lady herself would later be confronted outside of the airport as she was waiting for an Uber. When confronted, she got argumentative towards these officers, stating that she was too small to do any damage to the guy that she pushed.
I'm 5'2". Wait, hold on. I'm 5'2", 120 pounds. 5'2",
You are not 120 pounds. You wish you were 120 pounds. You are not 120 pounds. Okay, my ex is 120 pounds, and yeah, she a lot skinnier than you.
So regardless, he's not wanted for
Wait, hey, can I hurt you? How tall are you? How tall are you?
Who said?
How tall are you?
Just listen to the officer.
Should I hurt you?
So listen to the officer.
Exactly.
She didn't appear to feel
Why
like
does
she
she
had done
seem
anything wrong.
so combative with everybody? Well, I guess they're kind of like riding her. They're like, "Did you put a bomb on the plane? Did you put a bomb on the plane? Should we freak out? Should we freak out? What's going on?" Right. So I guess I go 1 cent cheaper and I sell all of it for 500 gold, I guess, and sure, I'll take the money back. I don't know. This is all wood that I got. But yeah, it's like better if it's processed, I guess. Yeah, it's like, yeah, this base form is not worth much. It should be. That's how cheap lumber is. Maybe I should put in a huge fucking order. Like, wait, so you said that was how much? Oh, yeah, no, green wood is so cheap. Wow. Place a buy order for fucking 6 cents? That's it? Yeah, shit. Okay. I mean, yeah, I'll need a lot of sandpaper, right? I don't know. Yeah, but how much is that? That's 60 gold. Shit sold.
But in all honesty, she's like out of it seems. She wasn't arrested or charged with any crimes and would be let go, and for the time being, the plane lady incident was resolved, but the story is far from over, as those on the flight would later go on to upload the bizarre crazy plane lady footage to TikTok, Twitter, and other social media platforms. Thanks to the woman's disturbing outbursts and eyebrow-raising claims of a MFer on the flight not being real, it was an instant viral hit. I mean, admittedly, the video is very strange. Like, on the surface, it's your classic crazy Karen style video, but as you
Karen?
watch it more,
That is not a Karen. That is not a Karen.
and more, there's like different layers that are almost unsettling to it. It seems like something else is at play here. Like maybe she's
Yeah, it's called crazy. She believes that there's alien people walking around on the plane with her, and they're gonna morph like they live or whatever, and eat her or something. It's very weird, and it's called insanity. I mean, that's generally kind of what we label this as. I'm not saying she's crazy. I'm saying usually when you think that people are like not real, you are a schizophrenic or some such. You are moonstruck. That's how they used to put it. You're like moonstruck. You're a little loony. You know, you're the moon. You're the other side of the moon or whatever.
main one, and everyone else was crazy. Like, what did she really see on that flight? Was there lizard people or something? Did she see through the Matrix? Is she Neo? Like, what's going on here? Media outlets would latch onto this viral story, portraying the woman in it as a paranoid schizophrenic of sorts who was convinced that she saw some sort of monster that wasn't there on the plane. It wouldn't be long before the nickname Crazy Plane Lady or
There's a
That
television
Image Was
episode
Not
about
Real
this
Lady
on the
was all
Twilight
over the
Zone.
place.
That's where she got it from.
Theorists would join in as well, creating explanations for what exactly she saw. Was it a shapeshifter, an alien, or something else supernatural? Perhaps the plane lady was a government psyop or some sort of demonic entity. Hell,
Nope.
if you spent 5
Just
minutes
crazy.
on TikTok, you'd be convinced that the woman was possessed by the devil. Look at that. You can see she's clearly holding up the Baphomet demon symbol, dude. The possibilities for what she could have saw were endless, and a lot out there thought this was like the big enchilada for seeing through the fourth wall of the universe. The plane
Oh
lady was
my
just the tip of
God.
the iceberg. We're about to discover, like, you know, Stranger Things interdimensional beings here. Some YouTube comments under the video. In some years, we owe her an apology.
Oh
Mark
my God.
word.
I'm gonna pause this real quick, guys. I'm gonna go grab something from the fridge, and I don't want it saying that I'm watching in the background. Ooh, this is gonna be a good meal. I need a fork, though. Canada Dry. Canada Dry. Gotta get a glass. Did I refill my ice? I can't remember. Sucks. Oh yeah, I'm not on the belt, and I should probably worry about that or lose my shit maybe. Yeah, where am I now? Yeah, I am not mining. Some star metal. Oh, that smells good. Yes, yes, yes. I have a good dinner waiting. Okay, let's, yeah, well, that's doing good, right? And I'm sitting where I'm okay? Yeah, I'm sitting where I'm okay. No ants will kill me. Should go over here where ants don't spawn. Okay.
People are hating on this lady. It's very obvious she is scared. She is scared for her life. Person or not, she saw something traumatizing, even if she hallucinated it. Imagine having a gut feeling the plane wouldn't land. Imagine knowing that you were not safe, that that person was going to do something. People need to have some empathy because there was clearly something happening to this poor girl. Keep in mind, she went through TSA. They would have stopped her if she had drugs. She saw a shapeshifter. As people scrambled to find answers in regard to what was going on with the crazy plane lady, some who were allegedly on the same flight as her would come forward with stories attempting to further contextualize the event. One alleged passenger, who goes by the name MLeeRN on TikTok, would post a clip reporting various details from the confrontation involving the plane lady.
Okay, so for everybody who has seen the viral video of the crazy lady that got kicked off the American Airlines flight yesterday,
Yes.
going from DFW to Orlando, I just kind of wanted to clear up some things because there's a lot of people that have a lot of questions.
It's important to note that this individual's statements cannot be treated as fact, and we should certainly handle them with a grain of salt in mind. This is just some random person who claims to have been on the flight's perspective of what happened.
This woman boarded the plane. We left the terminal, and we were pulling out onto the runway, fixing to take off. And all of a sudden, so this lady had been drinking prior to getting on the plane, evidently. Some people said they seen her at the bar next to the terminal. She was sitting in her seat, and I guess she had a pair of AirPods, and they said she had them in her hand, and then within seconds, we don't know if she pocketed them or where she put them, she misplaced them somehow, and she started yelling at the guy next to her, who of course is African American, and
saying that he stole her AirPods.
According to MLeeRN, the Plane Lady dispute initially began as a result of the woman losing an AirPod and becoming paranoid that a man sitting next to her had stolen it. The TikToker would also explain that the MFer who was not real that the Plane Lady was referring to was the flight attendant that initially responded to the altercation.
Oh, and I've heard a lot of questions, people wondering who she was saying didn't exist. The person she was saying did not exist was the flight attendant who originally was dealing with the complaint whenever she started yelling and screaming about the guy supposedly stealing her AirPods.
Now let's entertain the hypothetical that this TikTok lady was in fact on the plane and that her claim is true about the first flight attendant to come in contact with the Plane Lady was the MFer who is not real. If that's the case, then I believe that the MFer who is not real is this flight attendant right here. As out of all the footage that I've seen of the incident, it appears that he was the first flight attendant to make contact with her. So yeah, for those of you wondering, that could be the MFer who was not real. We don't know for sure. One of the more strange elements to this story is the fact that despite the Plane Lady being a globally popular meme of sorts, the crazy Plane Lady's identity remained a complete mystery for quite some time. The woman's name wouldn't be discovered until early August, almost 2 months after the MFer is not real incident. The crazy Plane Lady would eventually be identified as 39-year-old Tiffany Gomez, a marketing industry worker and real estate agent from Dallas, Texas. Shortly after her name was made public, Tiffany would finally come forward and issue a statement to the internet and the media. This statement came in the form of an apology video that was published to Twitter. In this apology, the woman took accountability for her behavior and apologized for her use of profanity. She also apologized to the passengers on board and got a bit emotional at times during this speech.
Hi everyone, it's me, Tiffany Gomez, probably better known as the Crazy Plane Lady, which is completely warranted. As you know, I have been unwilling to speak on the viral video, but I do finally feel that it's time. First and foremost, I want to take full accountability for my actions. They were completely unacceptable. Distressed or not, I should have been in control of my emotions, and that was not the case. My use of profanity was completely unnecessary, and I want to apologize to everyone on that plane, especially those that had children aboard. Can't imagine going through that and trying
apologizing
to
for
explain to your kid what in
profanity.
the world just happened. We all have our bad moments, some far worse than others, and mine happened to be caught on camera for the whole world to see multiple times. Sorry, trying not to sound like Minnie Mouse.
And she also said that she enjoyed some of the memes that came out of the situation.
Well, it has been really comical for everyone, and I have highly enjoyed so many of the memes. On the flip side, it is very invasive and unkind, and I don't know what I would do without the love and support of my friends and family.
While it was good to hear from the Plane Lady herself, the burning question that everyone had wanted Tiffany to explain was what exactly she saw on the plane and why exactly was she so upset about it. Who was the motherfucker that wasn't real? I mean, come on, you gotta explain it, right? Her vagueness regarding the matter in the Twitter video fueled more conspiracies. Some suggested that she was being coached to keep quiet on what had happened and that she was under threat by government bodies or the deep state. Others had more rational explanations like, you know, maybe she's being advised by legal counsel to not be too specific because she doesn't want to like inadvertently cause damages to anyone on the plane. And of course there were people suggesting that she may have had a psychiatric illness and the MFer is not real incident was essentially a lapse or exacerbation in her illness. And, you know, she's kind of trying to tap dance around this in a way, not having to say like, guys, I had a mental breakdown, because, you know, that's almost like TMI. Like, she doesn't have to do that if that's the case. I don't know if she has a mental illness, but that's just like kind of my thoughts there. Another theory I've seen floating around speculates that given Tiffany had experience in marketing, her freakout was some sort of scheme to become a viral influencer. And I mean, I guess if you're like a fucking idiot, this is a good theory, but like I can think of 10,000 better ways to approach being an influencer than this. Like, yeah, dude, everyone thought I was literally insane for 2 months. Totally the best way to become famous online. I totally want it to happen that way. Shortly after issuing her apology, Tiffany would be spotted at an airport by paparazzi. There she would participate in a brief interview in which the interviewer asked what exactly she saw. Tiffany in return would answer that she had been told that she can't comment on it at the moment, but she did plan to speak further in the future. The only details that she really gives here is that she was distressed at the moment and really felt like she needed to get off the plane.
Like, what was the reason that you wanted to get off so bad?
Again, can't speak on that right now, but I was distressed and I was getting off the plane no matter what. I just probably didn't need to make the scene that I made.
Right.
But I was getting off that plane.
Since coming out public, Tiffany continues to speak in a limited capacity regarding her incident. In my opinion, the woman is likely being instructed by PR and legal professionals to keep somewhat hushed on the matter to limit her exposure and potential civil lawsuits. What initially began as the nightmare for the plane lady has become somewhat of a boon for Tiffany Gomez, as the internet has been quite accepting of her since she came forward, with the woman now boasting quite the large following on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Following so large that they are likely monetizable. And again, no, I don't think she did this on purpose to get famous online. I think it's just like a side effect of all of it. It also appears Tiffany has collaborated with Barstool Sports to make some That MFer Is Not Real merchandise. And speaking of Barstool, Tiffany somewhat recently went on Barstool's Pardon My Take podcast. And for the first time ever, she would answer the question of what exactly she saw. Or who wasn't real. And I do the little quote thing because in the answer she said that she saw absolutely nothing, and that when she said that MFer is not real, she was essentially referring to somebody on the plane that wasn't being real with her. Like, I guess the person she had a confrontation with, she was saying that they were being fake or bullshit.
Can I ask again what you saw?
Yeah. You know, the reason why I probably haven't come out yet, because it's like so cringe, I did not see anything.
What?
No.
I mean, I think y'all knew that.
Okay. We honestly had no idea. Yeah.
You said you did.
No, I did not. The
Those
media.
You said this motherfucker's not real.
I said that motherfucker.
I mean, the body language doesn't really line up, but sure, Tiffany. I think there will be a day when we do get the full story regarding what exactly was going on with Tiffany Gomez on this flight. Personally, in my opinion, just looking at everything surrounding this case and the videos, just off of my layman's opinion, like, I'm not a psychiatrist, I'm not a psychologist, I am a registered nurse, but I have no experience in diagnosing anybody's mental problems. But this does kind of seem like she had some sort of lapse, a delusion, maybe a bipolar manic episode. That's what it looks like to me. But who the fuck knows? One day, I hope Tiffany will come forward and explain what she saw in honesty. And, but for now, we're just gonna have to wait and find out. So that is the story of Tiffany Gomez, that motherfucker is not real lady. When an air rage incident occurs after takeoff, there's limited options for subduing a potential aggressor. I mean, really, what are flight attendants to do in a situation where you got a fucking crazy passenger that's throwing bows? After all, you're thousands of feet up in the air, and a plane is not like a cruise ship. There's no brig or drunk tank to throw hooligans in. But fear not, there is a way to subdue dangerous passengers on a plane thanks to the creative efforts of flight attendants over the years. Many videos have gone viral showcasing the tactic that flight attendants use. Which brings us to the cases of duct tape passengers. On late Saturday night, July 31st of 2021, 22-year-old Maxwell Berry of Norwalk, Ohio, boarded the Frontier Airlines Flight 2289 from Philadelphia to Miami. While on this flight, Mr. Maxwell reportedly partaked in a few alcoholic beverages. At some point during this flight, the drunken man reportedly began getting a bit unruly, cursing at other passengers. The guy was causing problems on this flight, and whenever people started criticizing him, he reportedly said that he had rich parents and could do whatever he wanted to. A real piece of work here.
My parents are rich. I can do what I want. Deal with it. What? Oh my God. Why are you screaming this on a plane, you fucking idiots?
Goddamn gallon. And you know what? You fucking suck. Yeah. Yeah. You know what?
Yeah, real funny. Yeah. Man's having a fucking mental breakdown. My parents are rich. They're all laughing at him.
Continued being disrespectful to flight attendants demanding beverages despite being cut off. The unruly man at one point went to the bathroom and emerged shirtless. Apparently he had spilled a drink on himself when he was in there and thought it was appropriate to just come out, you know, half naked. And for the most part, flight attendants, despite the rudeness of this man, they were keeping their cool. Hell, they even
probably
reportedly
happens
went
all the
into his
time.
luggage and helped him try to find a new shirt. But apparently Maxwell was taking the kindness shown by these flight attendants as weakness, and it's been alleged that he tried to make some unwanted sexual advances towards them. At one point, Maxwell allegedly groped the breast of a flight attendant, who then ordered Maxwell to stop and sit down immediately. A male flight attendant would see the slight and become somewhat agitated himself, approaching Maxwell and aggressively telling him to calm down. And this resulted in Max allegedly punching the flight attendant in the face.
Wow. Why are
Naturally,
you
this was the strong-
punching that flight attendant? It's suppress him. Yep. This man did not expect this when he went to work today. Here's to you, random fucking flight steward hero. This beer's for you, or here, this Canada Dry's for you. Here's to you, random good citizen. You've got a madman on your hands. He's having a psychotic episode. Suppress this motherfucker and keep the peace for the people. For the people. I love this guy. Like, this is like the kind of shit I used to deal with as a taxi driver. Taxi, you see some crazy shit.
That broke the camel's back.
I had a bad guy who was like, he had like $2,000, and I made like $350 that night, but he was like, okay, yeah, I picked him up and he was like, take me to the bar, and he was screaming, and I was like, okay. You know, I'm taking you to the bar. And he was like, how are you doing, man? He throws his hand on my shoulders. It scares the shit out of me. And I'm like, I'm doing fine. Take your hands off me, sir. You know, like, and I'm laughing with him, but I'm like, you know, and he's like, okay. So then, and he starts throwing money at me. He throws like $65 at me for a $25 ride or something. Not even a $25 ride. It was like a $17 ride, $22 tip, something. I remember thinking, oh, there's 4 times the amount of the ride. I'll put up with a lot of shit, sure. And then, so then at that point, he like proceeds to go nuts. He like has me take him to a bar, and then he goes in there, and he like gets in a fist fight with the bouncer and comes back to the car, and he gets in. He hands me like another $25, and he's like, take me down the street to this and this bar. And I was like, okay. And so then I took him to the next bar, and then he hung out there, and he was like, here's $100. Wait for me here like 45 minutes. I want to have some drinks. And if I'm not out here in 45 minutes, you can just walk with the 100. Or he's like, if I'm not out here in 45 minutes, you can leave. But if you stay, I'll pay you another 100. I was like, sure. So I sit there for 45 minutes, and he comes back, and he just gets in, and he's like, I'm fucking wasted. And then he blows a line of cocaine off his hand, and he's like, or whatever, he like puts a bump on his fucking hand and just does a line in the back. And then he's like, take me to the next bar down Federal or whatever it was. It was like 47th or 48th. Take me to the someplace or something. I can't remember where we went. It was like out in North Glen. He was like, take me to some bar on 65th and North Glen or something. I forget, not going, but out in North Glen on 65th and fucking some ungodly fucking street. So I take him out to the boonies out there, and he's like, all right, I'll pay you another $100 if you wait here for an hour. And I waited there for an hour, and then he gets back in the car with these other two belligerent fucking wasted people that he had like infected. He went in there and like just fucking blew the bank, I guess, on getting two other fucking people wasted. I don't even remember the two other people because they all piled into the back of my car, started yelling at the top of their lungs, and they're like, take us to the next bar. And I'm like, all right. And then he starts to get in a screaming match with these I think it was a dude and a lady, if I recall. And he was like, fuck you guys, I got you drunk for like an hour and you're treating me like this, blah, 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 and all this shit. And he starts screaming at them. I'm like, sir, stop. I pull over and I'm like, get the fuck out of the cab. And he's like, what are you talking about? I paid you like $250. And I'm like, get the fuck out of the cab now. You are having a psychotic episode and you are like, and the two people file out of the cab and they're like, fine, they're wasted, but they're like, fuck this cabbie. And I'm like, get the fuck out of the cab now. And he's like, what? And I'm like, get out of the fucking cab now. And I start screaming at him like motherfucker, I will call the cops right now. And he was like, all right, fine, I'll get out. And like, and then I just like slam, lock, boom, down the fucking road. And I took my $265 because I knew where this was going to go. He was going to end up, like, I was going to end up at some fucking party at like 3:30 in the fucking morning with the cops arresting me for something. I've been around like motherfuckers like that enough to know. I don't know if you guys have ever drank with bikers and shit like that, but I have. I have a friend who's patched up. And like, you know, like I know crazy when I see it. And like, I don't know, yeah, that guy was like a biker guy. Like, I don't know, like, but he was really angry and drunk and coked out. He was so fucked up. And he left a lasting impression. It was like meeting a rock star or something like that. It was like crazy. He had way too much money for his fucking shit. He was not a rock star. He was just some fucking dude from the burbs. And like, it was just crazy. It was like, you know, and that's my little story about that. So that's this guy's vibe. It's just fall down, belligerent, drunk. They're not even thinking about what they're saying.
All the flight attendants moved to do this end.
So this random flight steward reminds me of like my taxi times. God. The worst one was this stupid 14-year-old girl got in my cab and had me drive her north like, I don't know, oh God, 25 miles, which in a cab is, you got to remember, it's like $2.75 to get in a cab. And then it's like $2.15 a mile. And it goes up from there the longer you're in the cab. And it's just like, I mean, it doesn't keep going up from there, but time is a factor. Every 5 or 10 minutes, it does tick over another 75 cents or something. Even if you're sitting in a drive-through, the meter is running. And the meter is a combination of both time and mileage. So it's like kind of crazy. And so this like 14-year-old girl has me drive her like 25 miles and it ends up being like $137. And I'm expecting this great, you know, $30 tip. And you're like, oh, good. Because usually, like in the service industry, if they're going to drop like $100 to $150, they're giving you like $15 to $25 an hour. You know, like it's pretty good. It's a service industry. You live for those big tips, and they do happen. They happen all the time. People move weight, and they take big rides, and they pay big money. It happens, and like so, like this 14-year-old girl has me drive her like fucking 30 miles or whatever it was. It was like 33 miles, and I get her home, and she's like, okay, see ya, and she starts to get out of the car, and I lock the car, and she's like. And I'm like, no, you owe me $137 as per se says on the meter. And she's like, I don't have any money. And I was like, okay, well, now I am in a shitty abduction situation that you're putting me in. Because I've had this before, and I am going to have it again, but I'm going to tell you what we do as a taxi driver when this happens. And then I tell her what we do. We get on the phone, we call 911, we call a fucking a cop down there, and we hit him for theft of service. And I tell her verbatim that is exactly what I say. I say, we call the cops, we wait for them to get here, and we bust you for theft of service. You don't get to leave the cab, no. And on top of it, I got to put you through an abduction scenario. And she's like, I'm calling my mother. And I was like, please do call your mother and tell her you owe me $137.50 fucking cents or whatever it was. It was like $133.50. It was a lot. I was like, call your fucking mother and tell her I don't take credit cards anymore. No, I told her, I was like, tell your mother, yeah, come bring me $137 and tell your mother you're about to go down for like felony theft of service and shit. And you're about to go to fucking juvie and you're costing her $130 and a lawyer and all this stuff to get you out of it. Tell her, and I told her, she was on the phone with her mother. I'm like telling her, I'm giving her instructions for her fucking mother. Her mother was white trash. I hate to say it, but her mother was white trash. She come barreling out of the fucking ghetto essentially and comes running to the window, and she hands me $150 and with $150 thing. And she's like, I am so sorry, sir. And I'm like, click. And the girl leaves. And I'm like, have a nice day. I don't want the cops involved. I don't, like, motherfucker, pay me. You understand me? And one of the things that, my, you know, like, one of the reasons I was a good taxi driver is I used to get it from the pen. I used to have to go to a pen, and I used to calculate my miles and all that shit. I was a real taxi driver for, like, 13 years and shit. And they'd be like, you've never been hustled, have you? And I'm like, nope. I just don't believe that the people are good. It's the simple fucking reality of it. I just don't believe that they're good. I don't believe that they're out there to help you. I don't believe that they're there to pay you. I don't believe that some of them are really good people and they'll surprise you and they'll do things and they'll help you and they'll tip you fat and they'll really like you and they'll be good people. Some of them will sleep with you if they're hot. Like, seriously, some of the people are awesome. They're really cool. But, like, overall, like overall, most of them I don't trust were shit. I don't trust them were shit. Who? Oh, did we race? Oh, okay, sorry. I was A-okay. You killed my spider. I'm not going to complain or make this an emo boomer moment. I'm stronger and I take the higher route. I don't open my mouth. I don't say anything. I don't need to hassle the fucking rando public. That's not me. Not like these people on the plane. I don't care. I'm just going to go kill other stuff. I don't own the mobs. I don't own the plane. I don't belong doing that sort of shit. Whatever happened to human decency where you just don't make a fucking scene like this? I like human decency. And trust me, I'm a loud motherfucker. You guys know I am. I'm a loud motherfucker. Everybody can hear me coming from the fucking 4 rooms over. When I start talking, they know I'm here, you know? And like, but, I just don't believe in making a scene. Never have, never will. I've gone through a lot of crazy things in my life to not make a scene, frankly, you know? Like, for instance, when I was busting the 14-year-old girl, and, like, you know, and I was like, fuck you, like, just because you're young, you don't get to just blast me for $140. I pay for that. She was like, I can't believe you're doing this. And I was like, I'm doing this because I have to pay for you. You think, okay, I told her, you are naive. You think you can just fucking hop out of a fucking cab? You are naive. That's never been a fucking thing. You think because you saw it on some television show or your friend told you that they did it, that it happens all the time? No, 9/10 of the time when somebody tries to fucking dine and dash or fucking, you know, hop out of a cab or some shit like that and go running, like, trust me, they end up with a felony fucking charge. That's actually what happens. Try to evade a fucking thing like that, you run, because you always leave some proof. You always leave some, like, where they picked you up. A lot of the times you'd be surprised how easy it is to trace somebody, because oftentimes you're picking, like, I'm just gonna leave it there, but yeah.
Individual. As I mentioned earlier, there's no place that you can really securely store this guy on the plane. So what they did was bust out the duct tape and start wrapping Maxwell up, essentially, you know, confining him to his seat. They began wrapping Max up like a mummy as other passengers watched and laughed at his expense. The man yelled and squirmed, begging people to help him, but no one was willing to move a finger for this asshole. People pulled out their phones, filmed the guy, and Max spent the rest of this flight wrapped up in tape.
Help!
Help! No one's gonna help you, you fucking asshole.
Your skill
No one's
has
gonna help
increased.
you. You need help. Yeah, but no one's gonna help you. Oh my god. I can't believe this. They just tarred and feathered him at the end of it. I mean, wouldn't you? Yes, you would. They bound him up with tape. They're like, shut up.
No! This man got the right dentist. That's all I'm gonna say. The dentist is on point.
When the flight landed in Miami, Maxwell was arrested and charged with 3 misdemeanor counts of assault. The Association of Flight Attendants had this comment regarding the situation.
Don't
Quote,
get wasted on
"A drunk and
planes."
irate passenger verbally, physically, and sexually assaulted multiple members of the crew. When he
Sexually
refused to
assaulted?
comply after multiple attempts to de-escalate, the crew was forced to restrain the passenger with the tools available to them on board. We are supporting the crew. And I know there might be that one guy out there that's like, well, wrapping him up in duct tape, that's a little bit much, isn't it?
No.
Nah, fam. Like,
Nah.
you can't be groping flight attendants' breasts,
No.
punching dudes in the
No.
face. If there's nowhere to put this guy, your ass
Tape
is getting
him up.
wrapped up, bro.
Your skill has
The
increased.
side note to
Right.
this story
No.
is that Maxwell Berry was a recent graduate from Ohio Wesleyan
Not anymore.
University.
Not anymore. Yeah.
Where he was the recipient of the Action Award from his Greek community.
Oh
and from what I
my
understand,
God.
this award was given to
Your
people
skill
that
has
were part
increased.
of the college community that broke the mold of Greek life stereotypes in college. So basically, they gave it to him because he wasn't like a stereotypical frat douchebag. Well, considering the behavior showcased on this flight, they might want to reconsider
rethink
giving him
that.
The
Yeah.
university would comment on the situation as well. Ohio Wesleyan is saddened to learn of this situation with one of our graduates.
What do you
The
mean
case
full?
does not involve
Oh,
the university, and
full.
the incidents depicted
Oh, I
do
gotta
not
go
reflect
make
Ohio
wood.
Wesleyan's values. In May of 2022, Maxwell Berry would eventually plead guilty and was sentenced to serve 60 days in jail with 1 year of supervised probation. He was also ordered to pay $500 in fines and $1,500 in restitution to his victims. The man later issued
Seems
statements
so
claiming
little.
he took responsibility for his actions and he would apologize to all involved. Another infamous duct tape incident caught on camera involves what some might describe as a crazy Karen. On July 6th of 2021,
Oh,
on
come
American
on.
Airlines Flight 1774 from Dallas to Charlotte, North Carolina, a female passenger had a complete meltdown, standing up from her seat mid-flight, and she began screaming that she needed to get off immediately. The woman would barrel through the aisles, banging on doors around the plane,
Docking
and
request
continuously
accepted.
muttering about
Let me
how
out, let
she
me out,
needed
let me
to
out, let me
escape.
out.
The erratic woman was scaring people on the flight, so flight attendants charged her. When attempting to detain the erratic woman, she allegedly bit one of the flight attendants. But despite the woman chomping about, they were eventually able to detain her. They managed to get her in handcuffs on the plane, but just as she got cuffed, she had a second wind of energy and started going on another rampage. While handcuffed, the woman managed to bite, spit at, headbutt, and kick at various airline attendants. Eventually,
Oh,
though, they would
good.
tire this woman out and managed to get her back in a chair, and that's when they busted out the tape and started wrapping her ass up. And these flight attendants went to the next level, wrapping not only her torso area, but also taping her mouth off. Footage later uploaded to the internet would show video of this deranged woman screaming with duct tape on her mouth.
Have a good one. Thank you.
Once this flight landed, the woman was immediately taken to the hospital for evaluation. From what I understand, this woman was never given any criminal charges. It appears that maybe this was more or less a mental break. But she was fined. In the wake of the incident, the duct tape woman was fined $81,950 by the Federal Aviation Administration. To this day, the woman's identity remains anonymous. And with those two stories explained, I hope it's now clear to you that if you mess with flight attendants, your ass is gonna get wrapped up. One of the more controversial practices engaged in by airlines that has become more prominently known in recent years is the process of overbooking flights. It's somewhat standard in the airline industry for companies to sell more tickets for a single flight than there are actually physical seats available. This is done to account for the fact that statistically each flight will have a passenger or two that don't show
I can't
up.
believe my
So
answer.
airlines take advantage of this.
What else did the judge put in writing? What else did the judge put in writing? Is my question. What's wrong with me? What else did the judge put in writing? It's such a funny fucking question. What else did the judge put in writing? Oh, god damn it, I'm not funny. I'm the only person who thinks I'm funny. What else did the judge put that in writing? And I'm like, what else did the judge put in writing? It's such a fucking it's a Will Arnett joke. It's kind of a Will Arnett joke. It's very impeccably timed and very good, and it's only funny to me because you're not watching it from my standpoint, what I read and what I said. I guess I could kind of repeat it here. This guy starts talking, like, jumping all this information about his life. She can't touch anything from, his wife can't touch anything from mine in the service. It all goes to my daughter in the event of my death. Even got that in writing from the judge, right? So he says something crazy about his life. He says she can't touch anything of mine from my time in the service. It all goes to my daughter in the event of my death. Even got that in writing from the judge. And I said, how sweet. What else did the judge put in writing? And I was the only funny person here, and nobody laughed.
You've been examined.
What else did the judge put in writing? Divorce is bad. I like teasing them about it because I never got married. It's actually kind of funny. Boomer problems, like marriages falling apart, right? I don't have that. I don't have that problem. I've tried.
Extra ticket or two per flight to basically maximize
Dodge
their
that bullet.
profits. But what happened?
I love being gloaty. I like being gloaty about things. Oh man, I dodged the marriage bullet. Thank God, thank God. Damn it, Cindy. Weird, demented conversations with the New World people. I gotta turn on the text to speech. The internet people are coming out for their nightly crazy. No, I'm all right. Settings, accessibility. Let's get some good text to speech going. Oh yeah, a little bit faster. Yeah, like 6. Yeah, there we go.
Raptor of Fire says, if you really want to get her pissy moved to another country, then they have to do the court case all over again. I moved to the EU and worked there for a while. Sara no Shinzo says, my niece flies, that is. ZE Gasmaster says, my buddy needs to do it so I'm only running one so come on in if I need to carry for it. Serafina says, been thinking about moving to Germany when I can because they're actually pretty fair when it comes to divorce. Serafina says, my aunt works for the NCDA and she's been recommending I do a lot of different things. Hard part is getting enough money around to actually do them. Raptor of Fire says, Germany is a good. Then they have to do the divorce case over again in the US and German courts have to agree takes years. Sara no Shinzo says, heard a lot of good things about Germany, never been. Sara no Shinzo says, don't think it's someplace ID move currently with WW3 looming over our heads. Morgana Lafia says, and can't forget the acid attacks, grenade attacks, and bleed gangs. PON234 says, nowhere's gonna be safe in WW3. Arbiter of S says, need one for Amreen. Ori Node says, the German farmers, German government. PON234 says, drones, AI, nukes.
See, everybody's about to
Raptor
have a
of Fire says,
conversation
and she's gonna
about
have
the
to hire a German lawyer
apocalypse.
and going to cost her money. After that trial is settled, move to Spain. Raptor of Fire says, and it starts again. Serafina says, at Sara no Shinzo I'm not worried about that. Germany has laws in place concerning Marines that make it almost impossible for them to do anything against me. Samsoi says, X-Glob. Bold Sky says, Kaiden padding X2 room glass case of empowering WTS. Darkroot says, X event. Gerard Bundalberg says, a lot of laws exist and they're still broken. Serafina says, especially since I can own any weapon I want in Germany and won't get charged property tax either. PON234 says, as long as you salute, you can do whatever you want.
Come on, I want some people to go crazy. Come on, you gotta spin up the crazies, and they come out of the woodwork and they start talking about QAnon and the military and war and the Civil War and like World War III and the apocalypse.
Serafina says, they also can't comment any property of mine for any war efforts without my consent. LifeXoft says, %. Flokiasir says, Harvester hat WTSBMO. Serafina says, whereas here in the US the government actually can take all your property and throw you out in the streets under martial law. Sara no Shinzo says, at Serafina I get that, that's not what I was getting at. I just wouldn't want to be that close to someplace in case of warfare spillover or worse. Sara no Shinzo says, at skycat.live MFAO. Rodigo Marciut says, Tempered Cast X2 Prismatic Cloth X70 Prismatic Ingot X36 Totem of Lightning X5 WTS. Serafina says, at skycat.live MAO I died before I handed anything over. Rodigo Marciut says, Drop of Mercury WTS offer. Gift says, pull up to Scorp just spawned. Gift says, X up. Estana says, X up.
I don't want us a company. I don't care. I don't care to publish your conversation. Sorry. Oh, I'm dead again. I'm always dead.
Serafina says, at Sara no Shinzo still not a big concern for me. My older brother is currently in Europe with the army, so I get all the hot tips on what's going on over there. Dragon Altar says, X glob. Myzero says, stay solid all raid. Gift says, Scorp just spawned X up.
Entertain me.
Darkroot says, X event at MD. Sara no Shinzo says, at Serafina I get ya, hopefully the peace treaty will be signed soon and everything will get better. Serafina says, the war with Yemen is a sham really. They can't even mount a halfway decent defense. Gift says, need more at Scorp, X up. Cindy from HR says, what is your brother's first and last name? Asking for a friend.
Cindy from HR. Damn it, Cindy. Cindy from HR. Oh my
Cindy
God.
from HR says, I have no affiliations with the US government, trust me. Serafina says, at Cindy from HR it's Harrison Ford. MegFRMHR says, ooh. Suksa CAA says, X Scorp. Matral says, the fact that we're in another war is annoying AF. Sara no Shinzo says, oh rich man Cindy now you got to ask if he's single. Estana says, X Scorp. Serafina says, at Matral trust me I know and understand completely. Gift says, X Scorp. PON234 says, what US companies are the main suppliers for war supplies and national defense when global tensions rise? Sickfrown says, X Scorp. Serafina says, Lockheed Martin. Tissera says, X Scorp. Bickham Dorothy says, X Scorp. Gift says, need a few more X Scorp. Brinjero says, X Scorp. Mizero says, Sweet World Tour ECR Lilith full MAAP heading too high I'll come join my ECR kiss your X for join raid. Mr. Notnerve.s says, B. Vigoriant Garland says, X Scorpio here. Maddox Bond says, X Hot. PON234 says, for the fund I trade at, we've mainly been playing with LMT, BA, Wraithatone, PLTR, Northrop. Mizero says, Hi Star Tong 3 minutes. Suxa CAA says, X Hot. Creamy Rumi says, Blackwater is Aegis last I knew. Herjuad says, X Scorp. Serafina says, Aegis isn't actually taking contracts in that area from what I've been able to gather. Steer Hunter says, Dear familiar recruiting new members, COVPBX Discord required. Mutations, races, OPRs, and more endgame content. Be active and chill, message me if you're interested. Sara no Shinzo says, you forgot GE. Serafina says, Blackwater is actually Constellus. Proethis says, where is hot? Matral says, the streets are extended gutters. Proethis says, asking for dicks. Matral says, and the gutters are full of blood. Matral says, and when the drains finally scab over. Matral says, all the vermin will drown. Berg Kaiser says, finisher featherweight. Serafina says, actually thought about joining Constellus because it would let me flip the bird to the courts and travel the world. Matral says, the accumulated filth of all their sex and murder will foam up about their waists. Creamy Rumi says, at Serafina until you go Mia and no one looks for a rogue commodity. Nathan says, X hot. Matral says, and all the hoes and politicians will look up and shout save US Tom Cruise. Nathan says, X hot. Nathan says, X hot. Matral says, and he will whisper no. Sara no Shinzo says, at Creamy Rumi that depends on the value the government has set up in that rogue.
I love it when they go unhinged. It's the last free form of expression left. It's just
Serafina
like...
says, at Creamy Rumi at worse ways to go.
I want to slow it down because it makes them sound inhuman when the AI talks for them. I'm going to slow it down a little bit.
Notahil says, Asu.
Yeah, we're going to drop this to like 4. I'll try 4.
ESME60D says, hot. Serafina says, I'd rather go out with a weapon in hand than without one. Sara no Shinzo says, Arizon State Uni. At Notahil. ESME60D says, yo. Creamy Rumi says, at Serafina depends on where you're going lol. Hoodat Hoodir says, tut. ESME60D says, hola. Notahil says, lol. ESME60D says, Nick. Serafina says, Valhalla of course. Notahil says, back it. Nathan says, hot. Nathan says, X hot. Creamy Rumi says, most PMCS either just do security detail for billionaires or a mission the USGov can't attach its name to, depending on your route, you could have a good life or a really poopy one. Seraphim Ash says, I'm usually at resort on shoreline. Seraphim Ash says, as a PMC. Liz Tyler says, back at Duke. Serafina says, I've already been to hell and back, but sand tastes like poop.
This guy is off the hook. Crazy. Keep waiting for him to explode. Come on. You gotta let him simmer. Let it cook. So I keep waiting for somebody to piss him off. I thought I'd say something about pacifism.
Sara no Shinzo says, at Serafina Desert Storm.
I'm gonna say it. You don't like pacifism? So here it is. Here it is. I'm gonna set him off. Here it goes. I said it. You don't like pacifism?
Creamy Rumi says, at Seraphim Ash they have detail at resorts. Serafina says, at Sara no Shinzo na I was deployed to Afghanistan though.
Like violence, do you? I want to poke at him. Like violence, do you? Weapons.
Creamy Rumi says, at Serafina what years were you touring?
See, they want to talk about this shit. See? They're ignoring me. They don't want to be baited. Please respond to me. Damn it.
Hugh Hefner says, what would you do for a Klondike bar? ESME60D says, hola.
Would you kill a man?
Dracogen Guardian says, I'd give someone $2 for a Klondike bar. Sara no Shinzo says, at Serafina were you with first deployment?
Would you kill a man?
Serafina says, at Hugh Hefner I'd let Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman run a train on me.
There it is. There it is.
Creamy Rumi says, damn. Serafina says, at Sara no Shinzo 2/6.
What else? There it is. Come on.
Hefner
Elaborate.
says, haha, I was wondering what kind of responses I would get with that.
Elaborate.
Livio Bido says, Falak.
Tell me more.
Azel says, how do I destroy this corrupted relic for a faction quest? Creamy Roomy says, where my HR friends at? Cindy from HR says, doing paperwork. Hugh Hefner says, human resources friends? Hugh Hefner says, doing incident reports no less. MegFRMHR says, tracking. Sara no Shinzo says, at Serafina I heard the Marines had a rough time, hope your whole detach made it back. Creamy Roomy says, are the HR people like mods for the game or something? I can't tell and it's only my third day on the game. MegFRMHR says, yes. Cindy from HR says, yes. Creamy Roomy says, oh. Creamy Roomy says, y'all seem a little too chill to be mods. Creamy Roomy says, 2*/. Serafina says, at Sara no Shinzo I appreciate that, some came back in boxes unfortunately. Hugh Hefner says, oh man was I way off with that one. I am still learning the game too. Kazemba says, one is enough. Frostenrick says, wait so all I have to do to be a mod is name myself so and so FRMHR? Silverware says, doing bear. MegFRMHR says, we are undercover. Creamy Roomy says, at Frostenrick appears so. Cindy from HR says, I'm Jeff Bezos. MegFRMHR says, I'm Elon M. Musk. Hugh Hefner says, no one ever listens to Meg. Sara no Shinzo says, at Serafina I haven't heard of anyone who said anything different. My condolences. Cindy from HR says, exactly bleep Meg. Dracogen Guardian says, I'm Jeff Bezos' secret gay lover. Cindy from HR says, no I have a gay lover already but Frostenrick says, called it knew you two were in cahoots cover blown conspiracy proven myth busted. Creamy Roomy says, at Hugh Hefner isn't that not in everyone's interest? MegFRMHR says, you're all getting written up keep going. Serafina says, at Sara no Shinzo I think the best outcome I've heard was a gunny of mine had half his platoon get sent back to the States with lost limbs and no deaths. Hugh Hefner says, all this conspiracy talk is making me hot and bothered tbh. MegFRMHR says, come over BBG. Cindy from HR says. Tommy Beck says, Meg I need to file a report on someone. Creamy Roomy says, SMH. Hugh Hefner says, talk to me about the flat earth and I may reach the peak. MegFRMHR says, message me privately, we'll talk. Tommy Beck says, no everyone needs to hear this. MegFRMHR says, send it. Milneri says, we took a cruise out to see the ice wall. Frostenrick says, how can you have a peak if the earth is flat? Silverware says, big THX. Tommy Beck says, you promised to bleep in the meeting we were supposed to have but you didn't, sad face. Cindy from HR says, it's true I heard her promise that. Hugh Hefner says, peak was a synonym for climax. Serafina says, alright, I gotta get some sleep. Night everyone.
Semper Fi.
Tommy Beck says, Cindy did though, goat girl right there. Frostenrick says, I want a nuclear hug. Cindy from HR says, did what? MegFRMHR says, I do not recall this.
I love stirring up the crazy. It's like my favorite thing to do.
Tommy Beck says, well you did. MegFRMHR says, oh wait. Hugh Hefner says, W3LL. Cindy from HR says, did what? MegFRMHR says, 2-inch Tom is that you? Hugh Hefner says, TH1NKH at Ryder. Cindy from HR says, baby I'm gay I ain't sucking anybody off. Frostenrick says, one nuclear hug should make up for all the hugs I didn't get from my dad. He loved the milk more than he loved me. Tommy Beck says, oh. Hugh Hefner says, do you kid my mother with that mouth? Cindy from HR says, Frank was a cover to hide my secret bleep lover. Norday says, kid.
Oh man.
Creamy Roomy says, HR talking about sucking people off now. Damn. Hugh Hefner says, yeah. I hit send too quick. I meant to say kiss. MegFRMHR says, Kurt did it why can't we? Sara no Shinzo says, at Serafina wonder if they earned the Devil Dogs title after that. Granted most of the Marines should have earned that title after what they went through. Tommy Beck says, who TF is Kurt? Bobalazy says, yo mom. I'm bad at PvP says, love when LVL 65s feel the need to kill low levels. I'm bad at PvP says, compensate harder please. Creamy Roomy says, at MegFRMHR that's like saying an employee sexually harassed a peer why can't we do it lol.
Spin fire. Interesting. Steam. What is this thing doing?
Cindy from HR says, exactly though.
Cindy from HR. God damn it.
MegFRMHR says, I do not condone this behavior. Creamy Roomy says, LMFAO. MechFRMHR says, I'm looking at you, Cindy. Cindy from HR says, Meg doesn't condone it, she partakes in it. Creamy Roomy says, Day Meg. Northey says, I condone this behavior. MechFRMHR says, Christmas of 06 ring any bells? Creamy Roomy says, at Northey I concur.
Maximum number. Alright, fine, I'll stop selling things.
MyZero says, Sweet World Tour ECR Lilith full MAAP heading to I'll come join my ECR kiss your ex for join raid. MyZero says, I'll starting 1 minute. Cindy from HR says, New World came out in 1993. Creamy Roomy says, oh I wasn't even born SMH. Cindy from HR says, I am. Tonarinoko says, XXXX. Real Ghost Malone says, the Abyss OMG. Real Ghost Malone says, first ever EAC. I'm bad at PvP says, I love Virgin Verse. I'm bad at PvP says, they don't have the brain to know how hiding in this game works LMAO. Cindy from HR says, it's the best marketplace. I'm bad at PvP says, average green player. MechFRMHR says, I love mulch. PON234 says, if they had more marketplace slots, PPL would bombard pages with single unit orders to mask true price for volatile goods. Frostenrick says, in their defense most MMOs don, T-Hap prone and crouch.
No, I think most of them do. No, I think almost all of them do. Maybe not prone, but definitely crouch or sit.
Argus Black says, so I am apparently totally oblivious and have not done any of the dungeons to this point, and I am just curious if I do them at 50 in a group, do I hurt the XP of lower levels or is it scaled? Creamy Roomy says, I'm bad at PvP, I actually dueled against someone trying to sit behind a bush. How does hiding work?
If you can't
Celonis Hubble says, at Argus Black no and no.
You are unlikely.
Real Ghost Malone says, Sagittar Obliganus. Frostenrick says, WoW has a stealth mode and I think so does Guild Wars, but it's an ability not a stance.
Yes.
Real Ghost Malone says, The Abyss.
Yeah, hiding is in almost every MMO, even EvE. Some form of it. In this game, it's if you're prone, you have no name tag. So they lose you. Simple enough.
It's 3 Blas 3 says, did Archage have it? ESME60D says, my bad shorty. Gilb says, I'm trying to do the Starstone Barrows expeditions but it keeps on saying I don't have a requirement. How do I find out what it is, cause I'm so confused?
Oh god. I hope someone like this yesterday.
Frostenrick says, yeah, I hide from Scary Warband in the tall grass all the time.
Yep.
Real Ghost Malone says, frozen fingers. Frostenrick says, I think the fact that the animation froze sprint to prone is the same as Monster Hunter. Creamy Roomy says, so to hide you just go prone? Frostenrick says, is funny. Frostenrick says, yeah, you have to be concealed, they just can't see you name tag. Creamy Roomy says, and that's only in prone? Real Ghost Malone says, what is the bisflail? Nathan says, was there dunjo called please AD minimum level? Creamy Roomy says, I have no idea what flag means yet, I'm not ready for PvP just yet. Real Ghost Malone says, what is the bisflail? Creamy Roomy says, oh. PON234 says, no point in PvP unless you have good gear. PON234 says, this depends on use case and what class you're trying to fight. Creamy Roomy says, ULVL faster when flagged. Sinclair says, HHHH. Seraphim Ash says, skill beats gear any day. XWasha says, yeah, you can PvP well in decent gear, doesn't have to be BIS. PON234 says, skill plus gear makes the game pretty disgusting.
More people to kill you now.
Nathan says, what's their dungeon called please and minimum level to enter? MechFRMHR says, Dynasty. Nathan says, ANF Dynasty. MechFRMHR says, LOL. Super Psycho-NANA says, Tai. Super Psycho-NANA says, GG.
So Dynasty, I forget.
Nathan says, was the 41. Creamy Roomy says, I can't upgrade weapons, can I? Tommy Beck says, any over level 61 that is named you can. Riley Avery says, yes sir. MechFRMHR says, Ben me at 65.
My god, I have Dynasty material.
Creamy Roomy says, wait, if this game has been out since 1993, have levels always been capped at 65? MechFRMHR says, no. Cindy from HR says, no, back in 93 when it came out levels capped at 20. Tommy Beck says, yes. Creamy Roomy says, why put a cap on levels? MechFRMHR says, to limit me. Tommy Beck says, Mech 1 is 69. Creamy Roomy says, at MechFRMHR nice one. MechFRMHR says, not with you 2-inch Tom.
I'm gonna go kill stuff now. I've been
Prince
sitting around
Vide says,
doing nothing.
classic, dumb case trying. Tommy Beck says, it's 2 cm. Get it right. Cindy from HR says, Tommy, that's sexual harassment. MechFRMHR says, you right my B. Seraphim Ash says, get him Cindy. MechFRMHR says, take notes. Creamy Roomy says, they can't touch Tom since they partake in harassment /. Tommy Beck says, carrot. Cindy from HR says, nuh-uh. MechFRMHR says, he'll partake in you cream. Creamy Roomy says, I bet you would Meg. Tommy Beck says, WTF why not me? MechFRMHR says, emphasis on take. Seraphim Ash says, surprised face. Livio Bido says, yo.
Stone brick. God damn it, man. Alright, fine. So now I will leave finally and go farm again. Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, it looks good. I think I've got some extra potions now that I should go put away, but sounds good. Why do I have 387 premium woodlouse bait?
Rocker AR says, anyone know where the Artemis Soul trial is? It's not showing on my map. Tommy Beck says, these guys are selling greens for 5k, what in the bleep? Child of Seacomet says, I was making a joke. Child of Seacomet says, SMH.
Okay, now I want to...
MechFRMHR says, that's the price I use for PPL, I don't know.
I've got to unlock this flail. Gotta go back out to the desert because they killed me. They always kill me. It's so annoying. They killed me. They always kill me. I'm always AFK and they're always killing me. It's so annoying. Alright, it calmed down. I'm going to turn it off now. It's always good to tune into that crazy. I like listening to it. It's quite unhinged and I kind of like it. I will not lie. It's the old style of internet.
Child of Seacomet says, but if anyone happens to want to take the deal, I'm all ears. Child of Seacomet says, X. Child of Seacomet says, actually I salvaged it, so never mind. Creamy Roomy says, at Tommy Beck's I accidentally bought stupid glove for 1k on my first night playing.
Strong corruption, common. I don't even know what the lost are.
Tommy Beck says, nah, that ain't on you. Those mfers are bad PPL for doing that to you, LMAO.
That motherfucker isn't real. We didn't finish that video, did we? No, not at all. Go.
Happens in these statistical anomaly situations where literally everyone who bought a ticket shows up for the flight. Yeah, now you're in a situation where there's not enough seats to go around and somebody has to be compelled to get off of the flight.
No.
Essentially being screwed by the
whoever isn't the most like it's like that it's like musical chairs. Whoever isn't the most aggressive person there doesn't get the flight out, and they've all got to get out of there, all of them. And oh no, and there was probably a huge confrontation. Oh no. What am I doing? I'm turning off the accessibility of the text-to-speech. There we go.
Airline for doing absolutely nothing wrong. One of the most viral pieces of air rage footage occurred from a situation like this. It's one that many of you are familiar with. It happened in 2017 and involved a doctor being dragged off of a flight after being brutally beaten by airline security. This is the controversial story of Dr. David Dow. This story begins on April 9th of 2017 on United Airlines flight 3411. Just minutes before the plane was to depart, airline employees boarded the flight to break some bad news to passengers. They were asking for passengers to volunteer themselves to deplane as the flight was overbooked. They had sold more tickets than seats that they actually had available. They had to have a couple of extra seats for flight attendants, and, well, they didn't have the seats that they needed to take off, basically. Initially, passengers on this flight were confused by the request. They likely thought, how can a flight even sell more tickets than are possibly available? That just didn't make much sense to them. And they're right about that. It is stupid. Nobody was budging, nobody was getting up volunteering themselves. As airline workers began to realize no volunteers were stepping up, they added in some incentives to the deal. A $400 travel voucher, a hotel stay, and a seat on a flight leaving 21 hours later was offered to anyone who would voluntarily give up their seat at this point. But they had no takers. Negotiations continued to escalate, with now a $800 travel voucher being offered for anyone who would volunteer
Oh
to get
no!
off. But again, no passengers
No
felt like
takers,
it was
huh?
worth it. And
No,
to be
no.
honest, most of them were outraged at the notion.
Yeah, what? Like,
It
I bought a
almost became
ticket,
matter of principle
which is
for these
just
individuals to stay seated.
yeah.
But
It's
this
not their
standoff
fault.
couldn't
It's
last
not their
forever.
fault that the airport undersold the or oversold the plane. How is that their fault? The airport should fix it. The airport should fucking bring another plane down there and take those other people the fuck out of there. How is this the consumer's fault in any way or fucking form? They bought their ticket. That's, you know, to me, it's fraudulent if you don't supply it. You sold them a ticket. You're like, I mean, you know, you have a business. You can't just, to me, that's the service. You can't be like, oh, you have to catch the next plane. What if their wedding is tomorrow? You know? Like, come on, man. What if their father takes them diving the day before their wedding or something, you know? Like, or whatever, you know? Or the weekend before their wedding. Like, come on, man. Like, you know, this is just, you know. And that's a rare case, but it probably happens more than you think, you know?
No passengers volunteering themselves to deplane, the airline decided to pick 3 people at random and remove them from the flight against their will.
3 people at random?
Complied with
What?
given to them and did deplane.
Oh my god, I would be like, no. That is an outrage. That is like, no, you're fixing the, yeah, well, put the, give me the, at that point, give me the fucking, give me the stewardess's seat, you know? No, you sold me a ticket. Give me the stewardess's seat. We don't need a stewardess. We all know that we don't need a stewardess. I mean, we kind of do, but I mean, like, you know, it's like not really, though. You know, I don't know. 1 stewardess is probably enough for the whole plane. Like, I don't know. Like, man, something like that. I mean, no, they're not going to do that either. And all that, like, man, how are you going to dick people over just because the plane is busy? What the fuck is that? Man, that ability sucks. I don't think I like it. I'm gonna respec. Yeah, I don't even like using it. I don't think I'm gonna do any gun abilities, I don't think, unless they're super good, and there is none. There's no good gun abilities. God damn it. That's a lot of incoming damage, a lot better than the gun. Man, it came right back up again. Wait, can you just spam it? No way. Can you just spam it? There's no way. No. If you hit all 3... Ooh, yeah. If you hit all 3... I fucking missed all 3.
Plane the aircraft. However, there was another that just wasn't having it. That was 69-year-old Vietnamese Chinese-American David Dow. David Dow, a medical doctor, was from Elizabethtown, Kentucky, and was a former folk musician that turned to medicine. Dr. Dow was a pulmonologist and had patients that he needed to see the following day. And because he had these patients, he wasn't going to be able to miss this flight. He had to be there. At least that's what he thought. A totally valid reason for not wanting to get off of this thing. When approached by airline staff, David would not listen to any reason from them. United was forced to take drastic measures to get him off, calling the Chicago Department of Aviation Security.
What?
He was confronted by a small army of security, and at this point, knowing something was about to pop off, passengers pulled out their cell phones and began recording video.
Oh,
Video
no.
recordings show Dr. David Dow.
The doctor is like, no, there are lives at stake. No. He was like, no. You picked the worst guy on the plane, of course. Not me. No, pick her. She does not have a life like mine. No, I am a doctor. No.
Security on his phone.
I want to hear it again. What did
Apparently
they say?
on the phone with United Airlines.
What did he say about
the
it?
Chicago Department of Aviation?
I can't believe
he had
that.
to be there. At least,
yeah.
Dr. Dow was a pulmonologist and had patients that he needed to see the following.
It's a pulmonologist. You don't take him away from his work. That's the worst one you could have picked. Pick anybody else on the plane. As far as things go, he told the news too. He was like, I refuse to do it. It was like House. It's what House would do. House would fight them too. House would be like, nope, got patience. Nope, fuck you, no. Take me where I'm going. No, I'm a doctor. I'm not fucking around with lives because of you. I'm not doing it. No.
And because he had these patients, he wasn't going to be able to miss this flight.
No.
He had to be there.
That's about the one thing that really, you picked the worst guy on the plane, you fucking idiots. And then you pushed him off with your pigs. Yeah, which airline company was this?
At least that's what he thought. A totally valid reason for not wanting to get off of this thing. When approached by airline staff, David would not listen to any reason from them, and United was forced to take drastic measures to get him off, calling the Chicago Department of Aviation Security. The man was confronted by a small army of
Oh
security.
my God,
At
the
this
pigs
point,
are here to get
knowing
you.
something
I'm a
was about to
doctor.
pop off,
Nope.
Passengers pulled out their cell phones and began recording video. Video
Of
recordings
course.
show Dr. David Dow surrounded by security on his phone, apparently on the phone with United Airlines corporate to plead his case to them. The phone negotiations
Did they
apparently
change
went nowhere.
this?
And after giving Dr. Dow some time, seeing that he wasn't going to move, that's when security
Wait, they
tries
did.
to
They
go in and
changed this.
forcefully eject him from this plane.
They changed
and it
this?
just gets ugly for all involved. When security was trying to get a hold of the man,
They did.
Dr.
They
David
changed
Dow
it.
struck his head against the armrest and was
Really
bloodied up
changed it.
and bruised as a result of this. He was dragged out of his seat.
Well, let's
and
go to
dragged
there,
down
then.
the aisle by security. Those who had witnessed this bizarre confrontation even claimed that it looked like the doctor had lost consciousness after being roughed up by security.
Can't they rent a car full of pilots and have them drive?
Do not take me. Nope.
Oh my God.
Why are you doing this to this man? You fucking pigs.
Dr. David Dow's ejection
Jesus
from
fucking
the
Christ.
flight
You live-
sat
you
well
live
with
up to the
nobody
name.
on board because the entire premise of having to, deplane in the first place was so silly and stupid to them. Why is this innocent man getting beat up as a result of your mistake of overbooking this flight? Several passengers were extremely distressed by the incident and decided to deplane as a result of
Yeah,
it.
just
Adding to
left.
the
Yep,
disgust
I'm
of the
leaving this.
passengers, Some
Yep.
have reported that the officers responsible for pulling him off were laughing shortly after the incident. And this
No,
entire
he's a
confrontation isn't
pulmonologist.
even over
Fuck
yet,
you.
As just when United thought
Fuck
they
you.
had gotten everyone off the
United?
plane that they needed to, out
Oh,
of
my
nowhere, Dr.
God.
David Dow rushed his way back onto the plane with
And
blood
flew
pouring
home.
out of his mouth, repeatedly saying that I have to go home and, quote, just kill me.
Home. I have to go home. I have to go home. I have to go. Just kill me. Just kill me. Kill me. Just kill me. I have to go home. Kill me. Just kill me. Just kill me. Just kill me.
He's having a psychotic episode.
I have to go home. I have to go home.
Of course he
The
is.
man
You
would
accosted
collapse
him.
into his seat and was deplaned again. This time
Oh
for
my
good.
God, for the hospital. Yeah, and then they were probably like lecturing him and shit afterwards. Oh my God, this is the America that I know. I try and show it to you guys. This is why I have no faith in the government or these people that tell us what to do. It's just like,
David was promptly taken to the hospital. He suffered a broken nose, loss of his 2 front teeth,
Great.
and a significant concussion.
so you assaulted the doctor.
The man's lawyer, these injuries required reconstructive surgery. This
Yeah,
footage would soon after
reconstructive
be
lawsuit. More like reconstructive fucking lawsuit for United. Yeah, more like reconstructive lawsuit. Sue the motherfuckers. I'd be furious. I'd lecture them in court. I had a psychotic episode. You saw me.
to the
You know?
internet and almost instantly go,
Yep, I have patience. Fuck this. No, man, I'm not a good doctor unless I do for them. No, I was the last one on the plane to deplane. No. I'd probably be the same way. I'd be like, no, not if lives were, like, not at stake, but not if lives would be put at risk, Nope.
go viral, as many news outlets would report on the mishandling of the situation by United. It wouldn't
Yup.
be long before the majority of the criticism
Demand
online
answers.
would be pointed straight at the airline for not only the violence, but the ridiculous proposal of asking passengers to deplane due to workers not having seats because the airline overbooked it. A lot of folks felt like this was a selfish move on the part of the airlines, and the violent aftermath was simply the cherry on top that led to the criticism being put in the spotlight. Some online even argued that Dr. Dao was targeted because of his race. Mainland Chinese and Vietnamese citizens began to boycott United Airlines as the hashtag Chinese Lives Matter was invoked. The price of United Airlines stock also dropped the following days, showing how much this incident had affected them. Many online were posting about how they were canceling their United Airlines flights and would refuse to use them in the future. This situation had become a complete disaster for United Airlines and inadvertently exposed the entire airline industry for this overbooking shit. But despite all of this backlash, it didn't immediately look like United even felt bad about what had happened. On April 10th of 2017, in an
Yeah, like, dude, like, you should have felt bad. This guy bought his ticket and you fucking broke his nose. And you don't think that maybe you might have done something wrong there? Is that kind of the vibe here? And the damn ants basically pay for the fucking prison powders I'm gonna pay to get out there dying over and over again. AFK. Storage and Everfall, not bad, not bad. So yeah, this is where I came, or this is what I came for, but apparently I need all the other things in this zone now, which is kind of crazy. Bow is really good, but I don't think gun's good at all. Maybe I need to take another look here. That you fucking leashed. Why? You and your patching and leashing from fucking 2001. How are we doing here? We are out here farming. All right. Oh, I don't know what I was buying. Okay, well. Oh no. I mean, it wasn't good. Wow. I cannot believe I hit that. I don't know. The ability does hurt. Yeah. I guess you're supposed to line up the headshot to open. Yeah. So, yeah, I guess I'll line up headshots to open. Yeah, that, like, you go rat, and then you go... I don't know. What? He fucking leashed. Why is every mob leashing? He leashed 5 feet. It'd be fun to be a heavy ranger and just stand there and shoot them. There's like a whole town here now with a giant windmill. Well, it's fun to be able to actually, like, do it back to them. Damn, the headshot fucked him up, though. Yeah, that shit does fuck him up. God damn.